All right, guys, so we've been able to complete the project on Active Directory. Now it is time for us to document it. You have to document it on your GitHub page. And for you to do that, I've created a script for you so you don't have to do that. So I've created a script for you that you can use. You just edit it to suit whatever you want to do. I'm going to be sending the script to you on the platform. It's going to be your readme.md file. So I'll show you on this video on how to do that. And for your documentation, you need screenshots of what you've done. You need screenshots of what you've done. And one of the screenshots you need is um, the users, where you configured the users and how your domain looks like. So you have to come to tools and come to Active Directory users and computers. And since the project is all about creating OUs, so you created an OU for HR, which you have this payroll group and the employment document groups, and you have this user. So you have to screenshot this part. Just open up your sniping tool somewhere, your sniping tool. And for your sniping tool, you just click on new, and they might just want to carve this place out. Good. Then you might just want to save this. Just want to save this. And I want to put this in downloads. I want to put in a cybertech document and say OUs and OUs groups of users. Okay, so I've been able to do that. So the next one you might need to get would be the where you set the group policy, where you set the group policy, blah blah blah. So you can go back to tools and go to group policy management. So depending on the policy you created, so yeah, I created these policies for authentic power of disabling default domain controllers. Sorry, disable restart access and also disable USB port. So you have to also show this. Run a new one, the group policy management. And what you enter, then you want to save that. So you can call that group policy management editor. Policy management, you save that. And what else do we need? So you might decide to go to your other machines and show how when it was linked. So you might want to come to places like this, click on properties, and you might want to click on system protection. To this part, yes, this part, yes. So we need to see the cybertech.local that was configured here. So you click on new, and you might want to do this. Good. And you might want to use the highlighter to show that it was here. Good. Then you might want to save that as save it as the Windows machine connection or something. So, but this naming, please take notes. Windows. Let's use an underscore. Windows machine connection. Okay, good. So you might want to click on save. And so we want to also show the results. The results that we got. So when you're trying to, like, for example, you don't have any power off button here, which ordinarily you should have, but you don't have that. So you might also want to screenshot that and run a new. Or probably instead of that, we can click on car like this and then take a shot of it showing that there's no option for us to run a power off or restart or anything. So we might want to name this something like the access denied, access denied, hit enter, or you might even want to take it a step further. So I'll still come back to the naming. So we have to name it properly. So if you type in Alt F4, for example, because Alt F4 is used to like want to do some shutting down, restart, and some other things. So you can also use this as well. So you can say this and say this as access denied. Okay, great. So we now have all of the screenshots. We have the script. Now it is time for us to document on our GitHub page. So let's see how to do that. I have generated the script for you already. So you don't have to do that. So let me go back to my GitHub page. So now this is a dummy GitHub page, and I'll click on my thumbnail on this avatar on the top right corner. I'll click on your profile. So you should have a profile that looks like this. So at least I'm a junior cybersecurity analyst. You have this. This is the exact same script you have. So please, for your own as well, remove this junior your from your README. So just edit it. Let me do that again. Click on this button and remove this junior. Then commit changes. That's all you do. Okay, good. So let's go back to your profile. So this is what your profile looks like now. So now click on this drop down. Click on this drop down. Click on new repository. Lest I forget, we've been able to complete setting up a virtual home lab on our Windows machine. So you also have to document that project. So I'll send you a video on how to document this project. You've done this, so we need to document it. All right. So also probably under the lab environment, we're going to be adding Active Directory. So I'll just hit on that button and I'll come here and I'll say Active Directory. So the directory project. Good. Then I'll commit changes. Commit changes. So now if I go back to my profile, and what I'm gonna have is I have setting up a virtual home lab, I have Active Directory project, I have Cloud Home Lab setup. So we've been able to complete the first one, which is setting up a virtual home lab. So we're also going to document our Active Directory project now. So now to start documenting it, the first thing we need to do is click on this drop down here on create new, and let us create a new repository. So now the repository name would be, so now let me go back to the script and I name it Active Directory Simulation for Cybertech Solutions. So we use the same thing. So the description would be this, and make sure it is public, and please add a README file. So the README file is what people are going to see first when it gets to your page and they want to read about this or they want to see how you did it. So we'll click on that and we'll click on create repository. So now a new repository would have been created. So now I have Active Directory Simulation for Cybertech Solutions, Active Directory Simulation for Cybertech Solutions. Good. So now what I want you to do now is I'll be sending you the README file as I had promised. And now all of these screenshots, okay, before I start with the screenshot, let me start with the README file. So click on add file, click on upload file, click on choose your files. So I'll be sending you this document. So this is the README file. So this is it. So we'll click on commit changes. Good. So now we have this file uploaded, which is the file I'm going to be sending to you. So you upload it, but make sure you edit it. Of course, you can still edit it here. So now we want these to replace this readme.md. Yeah. So what we're going to do is we're going to delete this and rename this as readme.md. So I'll just come here. I'll come onto this readme file, readme.md file. I'll click on these three dots here. Then I'll click on delete file. I'll click on commit changes. I'll click on commit changes. So that readme file is done. It's deleted. So now I want to make this the original one. Then I'll click on this. Then I'll click on edit this file. So once I click on edit this file, I can then come here and remove all of this and link this to just readme.md. Then I'll click on commit changes. I'll click on commit changes. Good. So now if I click back on this, you see now that my readme.md file has now been replaced with this. So now I have this. So this is what I have done. This project is a deployment of a Windows Server Domain Controller, which is the Active Directory. For a company called Cybertech Solutions, it includes domain setup, client configuration, OU design, group policies, and access control in an enterprise environment. So the project's objective: configure an AD, join clients' PCs, create organizational units, implement basic group policies for access control, and simulate a centralized IT environment. So which is what we've done. We have a server, we have a PC, Windows 8, and we have this PC, Windows 7. So yours might be Windows 7, it might be Windows 11, it might be Windows 10, whatever it is. So I'll show you how to edit it. And so these are the informations. If these information are correct, you can edit them and make them correct. So now the group policy, I created a link and linked using group policy management console. So I did this. So this was one of the projects to disable removable drives. That is when we were disabling the USB port. So you can add your own where you disabled power off, restart options as well. So the screenshots, the key takeaways, and the author, definitely you, TypeScript analyst. Okay. So now what you need to do now is then to edit it. You can click on this. So that helps you edit. So because you have Windows 7 here, so this should also be Windows 7. You can just change it easily. And if these IP addresses are not correct, you can change it as well. So the users we created were not alex.it. So we created, I think, Martins. If I'm not mistaken, and we created Dominic. Oh, I think it's martins.hr. So the users we had here, okay, we created an IT and we had dominic.it. We had dominic.it. So we had just one person underneath. So we might want to remove this. So we also created another OU, which is not the sales OU, but we created the HR OU. And the users we had underneath where we had this guy called martins.hr. Good. So if you have a new group policy that you created for in this case, I created disable removable drives, and also in the demonstration we created for disabling power off and restart access. So you can just run a Ctrl C and paste that here. So you can edit this to say disable power off restart options. So it was linked to the HR department, policy configured, blah blah blah. So all power off, whatever that is, So you can find that on the when you go to your server and you go to group policies. Let me show you that once again. Go to group policies. So when you come here, uh, no, let's say the scope from the scope. Uh, okay, so let's do this. So let's just right click on it and edit it. And so we can find that under policies, administrative policies, system, uh, start menu, yes. Under start menu, so you can just see um, so remove and prevent access to the shutdown. So you might want to copy this, but it's not copyable. So remove and prevent access to the shutdown, restart sleep, and hibernate commands. Yeah. So it simply says that remove and prevent. So you can change this to remove and prevent all access to shutdown, restart, and hibernate commands. So you changed it to enabled, and the result was commands disabled for all users in the HR and ITOU. So that's all you need to do. So then you have to put a screenshot of this. So you list out the screenshots you want to show them for the Windows 8 machine, for the Windows 7 machine, you show them as well. So so this is what you're gonna do. Commit changes. We're not done. So just commit changes. So you'd see that this has changed. We've changed this to Windows 7. We've had you can name this group GPO1, GPO2, blah blah blah. So you have this. So now the next thing you might want to do is to then bring in your screenshots. So how do you do that? You click on add file, you click on create new file, and this file you want to name it screenshots. So you type in screenshots, then you put a forward slash like this. Then you create a blank document, just call it blank, and you click on commit changes. You click on commit changes. So you should have this. I want to go back to my Active Directory simulation. So now you can see that you can have a screenshots file or folder rather. So now let's click on the screenshots folder. What you have there is just blank, correct? So now let's click on add file. Let's click on upload files. So now we want to upload all of the screenshots we've had. And where do I have them? Downloads. Where do I have them again? I can't remember. Pictures, screenshots. Okay, good. So I have it under screenshots. So I have this access denied. I have access denied. This another access denied. So now, before we do that, please let's rename all these files appropriately. So now, let's right click on access denied. So because the naming matters. So instead of access denied, you might write it together, or if you want to separate it, use an underscore to separate it, just like this. So access denied. So this is the group policy management. So let's rename that the group underscore. Please don't leave any spaces in between them. It should, if you want to leave a space, it should be underscore. The spaces you should have within them should be underscore. Good. What other ones? Windows machine connection. So this has also been named properly. So make sure that you don't have any spaces between them. So now 1, 2, 3, 4. You have just 4. So I think this is for the users. So we had let's say OUs underscore groups underscore users. Good. So let's pick this, this, this. Again, access denied, access 1, 2, 3, 4, then this. So we have 5 screenshots. You should have more. You know, you're going to be having for Windows 8 and for Windows 7. Or for whatever Windows you might be using. Probably you have Windows 10, Windows 11 installed as a virtual machine. Fine. So then I'll click OK. So now it's going to upload all of those files now. Good. So they've been uploaded. So click on commit changes. Okay, so now if you go back to screenshots, now you have all of this. You can see if you click on them, you find it already. So now the blank you created initially, you can remove that blank by just deleting the file and click on commit changes and commit changes. So you just have your screenshots alone inside it. Good. So now the next thing is the next thing is anybody that comes to your profile. For example, let me open this person's profile, the name tag. Let me go to your profile. Let me open it on another browser, somebody that is new or somebody that just searching. For example, I just put this here. So somebody that wants to check your repositories and what you've been doing. So this is what they're going to see. So once they see this, okay, they want to see your repositories. They click on your repositories. Oh, they see that you've done an Active Directory simulation with Cybertech Solutions. Fine. So I want to read about it, so I'll click on it. So now this is what they're going to see. I'm going to set this. And so you have to create something like under the screenshot, they should be able to click this and it should take them to the screenshot of what you have instead of them coming to the screenshot and trying to like merge it together where you got word and word. So that's what we want to do. So we come back to your home page now. So on your repositories, this now, what we want to do is, I just hope this is recording. Yes, it is. Okay, good. What we want to do now is we want to say let's open the screenshot on a new tab. Let's open screenshot on a new tab. So now for each photo, you might want to click on copy link address. Let's come back to this place. Then what you want to do is to edit it. So now what you want to do now is to put this. So what the first thing we this was access denied, right? So which is the result of the denied shutdown command. Command access. So for these now, you want to put this in a square bracket, just like this. You want to put this in a square bracket, and immediately you want to open up a bracket just like that, and you insert the link. Then that's all you need to do. Then you click on commit changes, commit the changes. So once you commit the changes, when you come back here, you notice that this has been changed into a link. You get it? So now let me go back to the other user here, this person that was trying to access it. So now you can see that it has not been configured for this person. Now if I reload it, so now this person can easily say, oh, the result of the denied shutdown command process. If I click on this, so I should be able to see this again. You understand the point now? So you do this for all of the remaining ones. So let me show you how to do that. So you might want to take it a step further by clicking on the group policy, and you might want to just click on this and copy this. Easy. Come back to your directories here. So you edit it. So this is for the group policy management. So group policy management, editor screenshots. Remember, put this in a square bracket. Put that in a square bracket. And immediately there is no space. Please, no spaces between them. You put in the link. So you do the same thing for the Active Directory structure, which is the OUs groups, and we'll copy the link. So come back to the domain structure, put it in a square bracket, put it in a square bracket, open up the bracket, put in the link, PC joins to domain, Windows machine connection, exactly. You copy that and put this again in a square bracket. Put this in a square bracket and open up that. Then you put in the link. Good. So you've been able to do that, commit changes, commit changes. So if you have more, please, that's how you're going to do it, please. Don't just limit yourself to just 4 screenshots. So you have all of them like this. So you're almost done. You're almost done. So you're done with the part where you have the Active Directory submission. You're done with it. All right. So you're done. So this is what they're going to say, and they can easily understand what you've done from here. So now if you go back to your profile, you go to your profile, you need to be able to set up a link for this Active Directory such that when instead of so now I am coming to your repository now. So this is the first thing I'm seeing. Oh, so you said you've conducted this project here. So I want to see the project that you've done on Active Directory. So instead of just clicking on repositories and start searching for your projects one after the other, why don't I just have a link just in front, and I can just click on the link and it takes me to your repository directly. So all you need to do is to, of course, this is the directory. Yes, this is the repository rather. Just copy the link, come back here on your home page. You can edit this, and just in front of your Active Directory project, you might want to say something like C project. Put that in. Might want to say something like view project, just like this. View project. No. I want to put it in a square bracket. So immediately after it, you put in this, then you put this. Got it. So I just hope I copied it correctly and completely good. Okay, so this is what you should have. So then you can click on commit changes, So whenever anybody comes there, they can easily say, so let's go back. So let's go back to this person that wants to check. And let me reload this. So now, oh no, this doesn't look good. So let's change it. Let's edit it again. Let's edit this part again. And so we're saying, okay, and put an exclamation mark, commit changes. Oh, that didn't fix it. So apparently it wants us to also put this in a square bracket and also put this in a square bracket. And so you can have this immediately after it's easy. So let's click on commit changes and commit changes. So once they are there, okay, I see the problem. So the problem is spaces we have, That is the problem there. So this has been changed. So apparently it was the spaces that caused the initial problems. So because I want it to be like a standalone thing, Active Directory project, then let's say view project, view project. View project, and let's commit changes. Commit changes. Okay, this looks better. Yeah, view. Okay, so this looks better. So that whenever anybody comes in, so now let's go back to this guy's page where he was trying to look. So if you reload, you see that you have Active Directory project. So now, if they want to view project, you can just click on this view project, and it takes them directly to your Active Directory simulation, and it's easy for them to like read through and know what you've done. So that's it, by the way. That's all you need to document. So you need to document your Active Directory before the next meeting, as well as documenting your home lab setup before the next meeting. So I hope this helps, guys.